All right, next is New York Times writer Nikole Hannah-Jones. And we've talked about her before. She is the lead author, actually a Pulitzer Prize-winning author for the 1619 Project that the New York Times spearheaded, which basically tries to label the U.S., their origin, their true national origin, as the time when slaves were first brought to this country. That the whole basis of America is built upon slavery. It has been a series that has made its way into schools, but it has been condemned and criticized by historians across the board. This person, she's also the person that when Joe Biden came out last week and said that "you ain't black" comment for those African Americans who are considering voting for Trump, she tweeted this: "There is a difference between being politically black and being racially black. I'm not defending anyone, but we all know this and should stop pretending that we don't." So in other words, she was agreeing with Biden, basically saying that you have to act a certain way, you have to think a certain way, you have to vote a certain way if you're African American. If you're not, then you're not black. That's what she said. So now she was on CBS News talking about the riots and the looting and the destruction. She was asked her opinions about that. So first she said that, the killing of George Floyd was violent. And then she added this:
"Destroying property which can be replaced is not violence." And to put those things, to use the exact same language to describe those two things, I think really it's not moral to do that.
I don't even know where to begin. This is just absolutely outrageous. If you destroy something, if you destroy property, guess what? That's violent. That is also illegal. When you go into someone's business, when you break down windows and doors and take things that aren't yours, that's stealing. That's illegal. That is violent. George Floyd died, but he's not the only one that has died in these riots. Other people have too. And she adds this:
"Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times."
Classic. It's the times that have driven people to this, meaning it's not their fault. Meaning that the rioting and the looting and the vandalism and the killing, it's not their fault. It's the conditions. It's the times that have driven it to them. So you can't possibly blame folks for committing violence because I guess they're just out of their heads. It's just not them doing it. It's the times. They're being forced to do that. And it's so outrageous. It's just pushing a narrative. She, along with other members of the media, are pushing a narrative that does not hold up to scrutiny. Yes, George Floyd is dead, but the circumstances are exceedingly rare. It rarely ever happens. Just this weekend in Chicago, 92 people were shot. 92 people were shot. 27 of them died in Chicago. And when you look, there's plenty of news reports out there that will list the person's name and their age and their location. You look at those neighborhoods, a lot of them are black neighborhoods. So these are African Americans dying, 27 of them, 90-something shot in one weekend in Chicago. No one talks about that. No one talks about it at all. In fact, if you pour through the stories, race is never mentioned. I went through 4 different sources, local Chicago and others. They name them, they list their ages, they list the neighborhoods, but they don't say the race. Why? Because that black on black isn't a story. They talk about Black Lives Matter, George Floyd matters. What about these people that are dead? It doesn't fit the narrative. Or what about David Patrick Underwood? Okay, he was a police officer. He died this week too. All right, he was standing guard outside a federal building in Oakland with a fellow officer. They were targeted. They were shot at. Underwood was killed. He is now gone, just like George Floyd. But where are the protests for him? He's just doing his job. He's shot because of this violence. No one talks about that. It is just a crazy standard, a left-wing narrative. Look at the data, investigate the people that are bad, but don't blame all of society like even some Republicans like George W. Bush and Mitch McConnell are trying to do. I'm not going to stand for that. This is individuals being racist jerks. Find them, get rid of them, put them in jail, but don't blame all of society for the problems that are going on in certain areas of the country. And certainly don't blame the violence and the looting and the destruction on the times. Give me a break. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed that quick hit, but before you go, there's more. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified, then check out the full show that this quick hit came from, and when you're done with that, here's another video just for you. Hope you enjoy it. Have a great day.